Hi everyone, I'm Shraddha and today I'll be presenting engineered spaces for trees that we have up in Mount Barker. Got a bit of a controversial slide here.
Have a look on the left there. Seen that before.
Now, a lot of people that work in development and engineering are often faced with this choice where the tree is in the middle of the road. Do they use the classic engineering approach and rip it out, or do they try to find an innovative solution around it? Now, special shout out to Dr. Such for the tree protection laws that has been guiding more people towards the good innovative approach. Up on the screen, I've got one of our new land divisions, Spring Lake, as an example. And what we do in a greenfield site like this is very early on in the planning process, we identify the trees that have high retention values. And in this image here, they're represented by the green circle with the yellow border. But the most important thing that we do is that we apply tree-sensitive engineering practices to all those high-value trees, and we also align the streets to work around those trees and have an increased setback from properties. In this picture here, I've got two examples of where we've used different strategies for different trees, and how we decide what we're going to use is highly dependent on the road hierarchy. For example, this number 1 red gum crescent, it will serve more of a collector road type of function. That's why we've just put it in the middle of a roundabout. And I know a lot of engineers might have concerns regarding sight lines and all, but there are ways to work around it. In here, we've increased the annular size just to give that extra setback and to make it work. And in this second example here in Bremer Street, we created a slow point around it. Now, that's dependent on the road function as well. So this road was going to serve more of a local road type of function. And instead of us having to come back 20 years down the track or 30 and install traffic calming devices, we've actually future-proofed our design by creating a slow point around it. And what we did here is that we built this on existing ground. So we did not do any excavation. We just built it on existing ground. We had a load-bearing sub-base, which was comprised of roughly around 80 to 160 mil ballast, covered it with geofab, and then poured reinforced concrete on top. And you can see that it has been working really well. The tree is doing fine, and the pavement is fine as well. And next up, we've got Windrow Avenue, where we've split the traffic in either side of the tree. And here we use roughly around 40 mil ballast road base and an uncompacted subgrade as well. And in here, the median is also wider and the traffic lanes are narrower. The traffic lanes are still compliant, they're just a bit narrow. And in projects like this, all the excavation that's done is also supervised generally, and no roots more than 25 mil is removed without the prior approval of the project arborist. Now, a lot of excuses that people give about not wanting to put trees is that there's just not enough space after putting in other infrastructures. But in this project that we did in Dotton Road, we proved it otherwise, really. So after we put in 3.5 meter shared path, we were only left with 900 mils of verge. And a lot of people would have said that, oh, that's not enough to put in trees. But we dug a continuous tree trench that was non-load bearing. So what we did was we just excavated 600 wide and 1.4 meters deep, loosened the natural site soil, mixed it with compost and put it back in. But before we put it back in, we just lined the sites with geofab so that the tree roots don't go outside and just stay in the pit. And that has been working really well. You can see that the Chinese pistachios that we planted in 2010 have been growing marvelously. And also note that there's no damage to the concrete path, curb, or the road. If someone asked me how important tree-sensitive engineering is, I'd show them this picture. In this picture here, both trees, they're the same age, same species. One's at tree-sensitive civils and the other one doesn't. And I think we can all clearly tell which one's what. If I could summarize my presentation to top 3 takeaway for you guys, the top 3 takeaways would be that trees large and small can be protected on greenfield sites prior to, during, and after development. Second one would be that planting spaces can be designed and engineered to provide the root and canopy volume that's required for new trees. And the third and the most important one is that tree protection and planting are readily achievable, but it needs the commitment and understanding of all city building professionals from design to delivery. And we all need to take accountability, and we just don't have to rely on the big decision makers and community leaders because change starts from within.